Hello and welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you can test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you let us know what your score is and follow us on social media at Mouse in the Mitten on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and of course on YouTube. And hey, if you are planning a Disney vacation sometime in the next year or so, would love to help you plan it, would love to help it go from good to absolutely amazing. If you would like some help in planning that vacation, feel free to reach out to me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. Would love to help you out. Well, hey, a lot of great movies came out this week. We're going to celebrate those. We're going to have a lot of fun this week, and I cannot wait to jump into it. And we're going to jump right into the Christmas season and talk about this first category of the Muppets Christmas Carol. Yes, we are celebrating the anniversary of the Muppets Christmas Carol, and it is surprisingly one of the most accurate versions of A Christmas Carol that is out there, and it's still one of my favorites. Just rewatched it this past weekend. It is awesome. I mean, we're talking about the Muppets here. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be really, really good. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, what year was the Muppets Christmas Carol released? Question number 2. What actor played Scrooge and was quoted as saying he treated the role as if it was part of a Royal Shakespearean company? Question number 3. What legendary Muppets character played Charles Dickens? Question number 4. Who made their directorial debut with The Muppets Christmas Carol? Question number 5. What was unique about Kermit's character in The Muppets Christmas Carol that was a first for the Muppets? And question number 6. We learned in this movie that Kermit the Frog is what-handed, the same as the other rats in the film as well. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get some answers here on the Muppets Christmas Carol. So question number 1. Within 2, what year was the Muppets Christmas Carol released? Well, it was released on December 11th, 1992. So in order to earn the point there, what it had to say between 1990 and 1994. Now, I have a lot of memories of watching this movie as a kid. It makes sense. This kind of lines up with that. But definitely a classic Christmas movie, and definitely, again, I talked about it at the beginning, a classic version of A Christmas Carol. It's pretty doggone accurate. Question number 2. What actor played Scrooge and was quoted as saying he treated the role as if it was part of the Royal Shakespearean Company? Well, that one was Michael Caine. Now, he did a fantastic job. Now, there is a song that isn't in the original movie that you can find on YouTube. It is just phenomenal, but he did a great job, and definitely one of his better performances. I think he absolutely crushed it, and definitely phenomenal, and one of the reasons why it's so rewatchable. Question number 3. What legendary Muppet character played Charles Dickens? Well, that would be Gonzo. Obviously, Gonzo played Charles Dickens. He had Rizzo the Rat with him the entire time, which my question is, whatever happened to Rizzo? Over time, the last few years, they've replaced him with Pepe the Prong. But what happened to Rizzo the Rat? I thought Rizzo was fantastic, especially in Treasure Island as well. I don't know why they got rid of him. Question number 4. Who made their directorial debut with the Muppets Christmas Carol? Well, that would be Brian Henson, that is Jim Henson's son. This was the first major Muppets motion picture that came out after Jim passed away. His son carried it on, and Michael Caine actually said he found out later that was his directorial debut, and just gave him all the praise in the world. He did a great job and has gone on to do a lot of other really good films since this one. Question number 5. What was unique about Kermit's character in the Muppets Christmas Carol that was a first for the Muppets? Well, it was the first time we saw Kermit walking. We had never seen Kermit walk before, like full head to toe walk. We have obviously seen him move and everything else like that. We've seen his whole body, and every time that he sings, we usually see him playing his little ukulele, but we've never seen Kermit the Frog actually walk before. And we actually see that in this Christmas Carol movie, when he's coming home with Tiny Tim. It's really cool, and you can also kind of see how you can see the drum kind of moving as well. It's an interesting thing. If you once you notice it, you kind of notice it. Last but not least, question number 6. We learn in this movie that Kermit the Frog is what-handed. The same as the other rats in the film as well. He is left-handed. So we noticed that in the beginning when their first show, Bob Cratchit, he is doing his records with his left hand. Mickey was the same way in the Mickey's Christmas Carol. They're both left-handed, but then all the rats were left-handed as well. Now, could that have been a choice because if he was right-handed, it might have been something with the camera? Maybe, but we learned that he is left-handed. And again, this is so rewatchable. It's a must every year for our family. We watch it every single year, and it is just fantastic. Check it out if you haven't done so already. Continuing on now into round number 2. Round number 2 is our fast facts. This round is filled with simple questions that have simple answers. Today's category is Disney rides catchphrases. For this round, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a Disney rides catchphrase, or one of the catchphrases from the ride or the attraction. You have to simply tell me what ride or attraction is that from. All right, so let's get started with question number 1. Behold, the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. Question number 2. Don't tell him, Carlos. Don't be chicken. Question number 3. And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors. Question number 4. One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation. Question number 5. We invite you, if you dare, to step aboard because in tonight's episode, you are the star. And question number 6. A salute to all nations, but mostly America. Definitely, we're talking about some classic rides here. Some of you might have been yelling at wherever you're watching or listening to this that you either continued it or you knew it the second you heard it. So let's have some fun and start with question number 1. Behold, the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. That is, of course, Jungle Cruise. O2H. O2H. That is the corniest joke that they say the entire ride. There are a lot of corny ones, but that one, it ranks right up there as one of my favorites, at least. But definitely, when you hear that one, you definitely immediately have a picture in your head of exactly what we're talking about. Question number 2. Don't tell him, Carlos. Don't be chicken. That is from Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, I can't do the accent. I'm just not very good at those accents. But definitely a fun one. And again, an image that immediately comes to your mind is Carlos in the well on Pirates of the Caribbean very early on in the ride. And his wife yelling at him to not be a chicken. Question number 3. And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors. A lot of you probably immediately yelled the Haunted Mansion. You probably continue that with continuing the phrase of which offers this chilling challenge to find a way out. I can't do the laugh. But yeah, that one is from the Haunted Mansion. Question number 4. One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation. I'm not going to sing the song, but you definitely know that is from Figment of Imagination, which I can't wait for the movie to come out next year or whenever it comes out. It's supposed to be good. I enjoy Figment, so should be a good movie regardless. Question number 5. We invite you, if you dare, to step aboard because in tonight's episode, you are the star. We're talking about an episode, you are the star, that is the Tower of Terror. Because obviously Tower of Terror is based on the Tower of the Twilight Zone, everything else like that. So that's where it kind of comes into play about you being in the episode, everything else like that. Question number 6. A salute to all nations, but mostly America. That is Muppet Vision 3D. Now, we could have gone with so many lines from this entire little show. It's fantastic, but I decided to go with that one. I just thought it was going to be funny and a little bit challenging as well. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to catchphrases from Disney rides. So this one might come around again sometime in the future. Moving on now, we are going to go into round number 3, and round number 3 is our connecting the circles. This round will have 5 questions that may or may not be Disney related, but the answers do connect in some way through Disney. So first 5 questions may or may not be Disney. The last question is the connection, and they do have a connection through Disney. So let's get started with question number 1. What character is named after the city of Winnipeg? Question number 2. Despite being considered a dog, what Disney character is a cat and often seen as a friend to Goofy in the Goofy movies? Question number 3. According to Greek mythology, what centaur did Hercules kill and then was poisoned by his blood? He is also the first evil character Hercules faced after training in the movie. Question number 4. What character has catchphrases including "Let's get dangerous" and "I am the terror that flaps in the night and I'm the bubblegum that sticks in your hair"? Question number 5. What 2-letter name is given to the hyena in The Lion King who doesn't say any words but is still part of Scar's prominent group of 3? And question number 6 is, what is the connection between those answers? I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with that connection, and then I will return. All right, let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. What character is named after the city of Winnipeg? Well, that would be Winnie the Pooh, obviously named after a bear from the city of Winnipeg. Winnipeg, you kind of make that connection there. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh, named after Winnipeg in Canada. Question number 2. Despite being considered a dog, what Disney character is a cat and often seen as a friend to Goofy in the Goofy movie? Well, that would be Pete. Yep, Pete is a cat. Now, his character has evolved over time. Definitely was one of the earlier characters as well, but he also had a peg leg. He no longer has a peg leg. So he has evolved over time, as have a lot of Disney characters as well. Question number 3. According to Greek mythology, what centaur did Hercules kill and then was poisoned by his blood? He is also the first evil character Hercules faced after training in the movie. Well, that would be Nessus. He is the half horse, half human. He's blue in the movie. That's when Hercules meets Meg for the first time. It's the first kind of big battle since Hercules had wrapped up his training. Question number 4. What character has catchphrases including "Let's get dangerous" and "I am the terror that flaps in the night and I'm the bubblegum that sticks in your hair"? That is Darkwing Duck. Definitely a short-lived series, definitely a memorable series, definitely filled with a lot of memorable lines as well. Question number 5. What 2-letter name is given to the hyena in The Lion King who doesn't say any words but is still part of Scar's prominent group of 3? Well, that would be Ed. He's the one that kind of laughs, has all these different kind of funny sounds and facial expressions, that sort of stuff, but that is Ed. So what is the connection there? Well, we had answers such as Winnie the Pooh, Pete, Nessus, Darkwing Duck, and Ed. The connection there, those are all characters that are voiced by Jim Cummings. Now, Jim Cummings is a legendary voice actor. This is just, again, a few of the characters that he has played. Another one that I could have easily have gone with is Tigger. He is the voice of Tigger, but he is also Pete the cat right now, and definitely he's one of the reasons why Pete sounds the way that he does. He really created that character, really created that voice, and is definitely one that fits Pete much better. His old one, like, just it's kind of scary, Pete's old voice, but the current one, definitely a much better fit. And that's going to kind of lead us into our next category, because Jim Cummings also plays the voice of Ray, which leads us into the next category and round number 4, which is, again, traditionally held for movie anniversaries. This one is no different. We're going to talk about The Princess and the Frog. Definitely a classic movie. I just rewatched it with my daughter yesterday. It is just so good, and I personally am excited to see where they go with this movie, because it seems like they have a lot of big things planned for it. So let's get started with question number 1. Within 2, what year was Princess and the Frog released in the US? Question number 2. What well-known talk show host voices Tiana's mother in The Princess and the Frog? Question number 3. Never Knew I Needed was a song that played during the end credits of The Princess and the Frog. What artist wrote and performed this song? Question number 4. Name either of the 2 legendary jazz trumpeteers Lewis mentioned in the song When We're Human. Question number 5. What Magic Kingdom ride in Disney World and Disneyland is being re-themed to feature the Princess and the Frog? And question number 6. Princess and the Frog was the first film from Disney since Beauty and the Beast that features the actors doing what? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, and I will come back with the answers about The Princess and the Frog. All right, let's give you some answers here on The Princess and the Frog. So question number 1. Within 2, what year was The Princess and the Frog released in the US? That would be December 11th, 2009. So in order to earn the point there, would have had to say between 2007 and 2011. And this is a reminder as to why I didn't see this movie when it initially came out, because my college years, especially the first go around, I was busy. I thought it was too cool for Disney. But then, of course, Disney came back to me. But I thought it was too cool back then, so I didn't even see this when it came out. Regret it, but, I've seen it now. Still, it's one of my favorites now. Question number 2. What well-known talk show host voices Tiana's mother in The Princess and the Frog? Well, that would be Oprah Winfrey. Now, my wife admittedly didn't see it when it was in theaters as well, but one of the first times we watched it together was her first time seeing it, and she goes, "Is that Oprah?" And I'm like, I don't know. I looked up. Sure enough, that is Oprah that voices Tiana's mom. She has a very short role in the movie, but definitely a very good one as well. Question number 3. Never Knew I Needed was a song that played during the end credits of The Princess and the Frog. What artist wrote and performed this song? That would be Neo, and this song is just fantastic. I'm sad they didn't really find a spot for it in the movie, but the fact that it was featured at the end there is fantastic, and I really hope they do something with it when the whole retheming, because it's just, I love it. It's fantastic. One of my favorite Neo songs by about a mile and a half. Question number 4. Name either of the 2 legendary jazz trumpeteers Lewis mentions in the song When We're Human. Well, he mentions Louis Armstrong and Sidney Bechet. Both of them huge jazz trumpeteers, definitely redefined what jazz trumpets sounded like and looked like. Definitely an honor to have them named in that song as well. Question number 5. What Magic Kingdom ride in Disney World and Disneyland is being rethemed featuring the Princess and the Frog? That would be Splash Mountain. That's supposed to open here in just a few months. Super excited. I cannot wait to see what it looks like. Definitely going to be living vicariously through the TikTok lives and YouTube lives to kind of see what they do to retheme it, but it seems it's getting close. I can feel it. I cannot wait to see what they do with it. Last but not least, question number 6. The Princess and the Frog was the first film from Disney since Beauty and the Beast that featured the actors doing what? That is, both singing and acting in their roles. Now, before that, between Beauty and the Beast and Princess and the Frog, there were some where they would have a voice actor and then they would have someone else sing. I'll give you a perfect example. My mom came over the other day to watch my daughter, and we were watching Mulan, and obviously Make a Man Out of You was on, and my mom goes, "Is that Donny Osmond?" And I go, yes it is. And she's like, "Well, I recognize his voice anywhere. Why is he singing?" And I said, because that's what Disney did, is they had someone else come in and do the singing. We see that in other films as well, but since then they've kind of gone back to it. But there was a stretch there where they had different actors singing that were for roles that had actors playing the voice part. So definitely an interesting technique, but this does not take away from how amazing Princess and the Frog is. And again, I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future. Should be a lot of fun to see what they have planned for it coming up next. Finishing up today's game, we are going to end round 5 on The Emperor's New Groove. Now, I have core memories of this movie, and I love it. I find it hilarious, and every time that I feel a little bit down, this is one of my go-to movies. I love The Emperor's New Groove. So all of these questions have to do with The Emperor's New Groove and some of the people that are associated with it as well. So let's get started with our normal question number 1. Within 2, what year did The Emperor's New Groove come out in the US? Question number 2. What is the name of Yzma's henchman in The Emperor's New Groove? He also had his own spin-off and was voiced by Patrick Warburton. Question number 3. Eartha Kitt is known as the voice of Yzma. What song is she also best known for recording that we hear around this time of year? Question number 4. At what attraction would you hear Patrick Warburton's voice in the Disney parks? Question number 5. What famous Las Vegas singer is responsible for singing Cusco's theme song? And question number 6. What country is the setting of Emperor's New Groove? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return to wrap up today's game. All right, let's wrap up today's game and have a little bit of fun with The Emperor's New Groove. Bring it on. Question number 1. Within 2, what year did Emperor's New Groove come out in the US? Well, that would be December 15th of 2000. So in order to earn the point there, you would have had to say between 1998 and 2002, which is probably why this is a core memory for me. I was 12. So a very influential point in my life. So definitely think it's a great movie. And again, a lot of fun as well. Question number 2. What is the name of Yzma's henchman in The Emperor's New Groove? He also has his own spin-off and is voiced by Patrick Warburton. Well, that would be Kronk. Kronk is easily, besides Cusco and Pacha, my favorite character. He is fantastic. I can relate to him, I feel. Big, strong guy who loves to cook. That could summarize me as well. Question number 3. Eartha Kitt is known as the voice of Yzma. What song is she also best known for recording that we hear around this time of year? Well, that would be Santa Baby. She was the original performer on the song Santa Baby. So when you hear that first recording of Santa Baby, that is Eartha Kitt. That is Yzma. So I want that image to be fried into your mind of Yzma singing Santa Baby. That's the only image that you should leave today's game with. Question number 4. At what attraction would you hear Patrick Warburton's voice in the Disney parks? Well, that would be Soarin'. Now, first time I went on Soarin', I didn't know Patrick Warburton did the intro for it, all that, Soarin' the Tower, all that sort of stuff. So, had a funny little conversation with the people in front of me saying, when you hear this, do you hear Kronk or do you hear Joe Swanson from Family Guy? Because it's the same guy. And we had a good laugh about that, and I believe he was also at the time on a TV show with David Spade. I think it was like something about engagement. I'm not sure what the name of it was, but they were working together on a TV show at the time, but definitely has become a bigger star since that point. Question number 5. What famous Las Vegas singer is responsible for singing Cusco's theme song? Well, that would be Tom Jones. Tom Jones obviously also made appearances on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because that's his song that everyone does the Carlton to. But he does sing the song that sings Cusco's theme song. Sting. If you had said Sting because you thought that's who it was, he sings the end credits song for that movie, which is, again, another phenomenal song as well. But that answer there, we were looking for Tom Jones. And again, one of my mom's favorites as well. Last but not least, question number 6. What country is the setting for The Emperor's New Groove? Well, that would be Peru. This was one of the first Disney features in like 50 years that ended up being portrayed in South America. And they chose Peru because that is they have a very long history of the llamas and everything else like that. But that's what Emperor Cusco was supposed to be part of, is the Inca and Aztec tribes that were around Peru at the time. And that would be one of the last times we would hear about a South American country until Encanto, when we had Colombia in there. So definitely a very cool thing, and definitely one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I really appreciate you following along, playing along. Hopefully you scored really, really well. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you are following us on Apple Podcasts. If Apple isn't your thing, make sure you follow us wherever you can. If you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. That way you know every time that we come and produce some new episodes. Would love to know what your score is. You can either leave it in the comments on YouTube or leave a 5-star review, thumbs up, whatever, wherever you're listening to this, and let us know what your score is. Make sure you follow us on social media at Mouse in the Mitten on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok, and of course on YouTube as well. And if you are interested in planning a Disney vacation, need a little bit of help, you can contact me on any of my social medias or email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. Would love to get everything set up for you. Well, hey, my name's Court. The dog's name is Milo. I appreciate you tuning in this week, and I will see you next time.